Your information station, WTIM.
WTIM Pana Morning Show right here on WTIM, your information station. I'm Tim Zalabak, your host of it. Thanks so much to our title sponsor, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Pizza Man, Norton's Hardware, your Pana Save a Lot, Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded Limited. On the phone line, we have Pana Police Chief Daniel Bland. How are you today, Chief?
Doing good, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and thank you for taking the time. Once again, this month, a monthly guest, Chief Bland, and we're happy to have him back on the morning show. Talk to me about the last month since we've talked. How have things been in Pana?
It's been good down here. Once again, we've had a pretty normal routine calls for service, responding just, the typical things we deal with on a daily basis, but nothing out of the ordinary per se. We've had the typical domestics, custody disputes, a couple of the frauds like we talked about before. We had a couple of those we looked into. We've dealt with some meth cases and delivery cases, things of that nature. Just, the norm, but yet we're happy it went the way it went.
Absolutely. The norm you're calling it there, and obviously it was handled in a normal way over there. I think the last time we talked, Pana Popcorn Festival happened and a couple of different other things. So we'll get into all of that. You brought up a couple of different and normal calls for service right there, like some drug-related problems. Just recently, we've been having these conversations about Safe Passage, but looks like Safe Passage is taking in Pana. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, we've been involved with it actually since it originated several years ago, spearheaded by Judge Paisley and the sheriff and different other leaders throughout the community. And we joined in. Obviously, we operate under a volunteer basis. Taylorville's got an outstanding program with staff available, but we've always done what we could when someone's available. Somebody comes in, needing help, wanting help, seeking to make a better life. We're going to make calls. We're going to arrange transportation. We're going to do what's necessary to try to seek help for them so they can improve. This last month, I believe it was 6 to 7 different individuals that we work with. Our coordinator, Stacy Schallenberger, we appointed her as our coordinator to just kind of have a little more reliability, and someone being available. She's worked hard this past month. Even a couple of them routed through Taylorville PD because we weren't available, which is nice to know, working together, and got them into treatment. And she followed up with some aftercare and transportation to and from the secondary locations of safe places and outpatient treatment. So it was a good month for sure for Safe Passage down here as well.
My goodness, it's the comprehensive services that Safe Passage provides. It's the constant support. So much of this is so impressive to me. So Safe Passage and the movement into Pana has just been so glad to hear. I've said it once, I'll say it again. If every city or every county had a Safe Passage, this nation could look a whole lot different there. And Safe Passage in Pana is already getting a little bit active. It was kind of my understanding, and it's been my hearing and speaking with you, Chief Bland, and with our own Taylorville Police Chief Wheeler, that it starts with the police force. There's this whole change in mindset when dealing with a person addicted to drugs or on the side of the road. You're oftentimes needing to take a different approach than acting as though they were committing a crime, if they weren't committing a crime, and just trying to get them off the road. Are your officers deploying any different types of tactics dealing with addicts?
Well, you're right there. It's a mindset that's, over time it's allowed us to adjust, but sometimes it's a struggle initially because you're trained to go in and solve problems and fix situations and support and provide service, protect and serve and all those things. But yet when you start understanding the mindset of those who are struggling, they're not thinking clearly. They're being influenced by just outside influences, internal, pressures and hurts and problems. And so to be able to have an understanding of where they're coming from, instead of just trying to pinpoint our direction, our issue to solve the problem, it's a bigger issue to deal with. And when you start, when you apply some of the important concepts needed in our profession, as far as just compassion and understanding, and you start looking from their point of view and why they're in that position, you start realizing they're not always going to think like we're thinking right now, because they're not thinking with a clear mind. They're overwhelmed with emotion and pain and whatever they're dealing with. So applying that concept helps us to, provide those services and encourage those. And yet, while also maintaining there's a line in the sand that people are not going to cross when it comes to breaking the law either, but yet finding the balance. Where is that balance?
Wow.
And work with the judicial system and law enforcement and volunteers. It's a good program. It for sure is.
Sure. And it's probably much easier policing, not thinking about the balance. But in 2024, hearing your words there, and I'm sure it's the same attitude across your department there, police officers, it's just another thing they're going to have to think about while handling a traffic stop or responding to a home there. You're going to have to come into it with just another thing in your mind other than protecting and serving, which is already just so much to be thinking about. You're protecting yourself, protecting everyone, all the citizens around, of course. But now you're thinking there's these external factors that are causing this person to act in ways that it's not truly them. They're not trying to commit a crime. But at the same time, like you said, there are clear lines that you have to protect. I mean, is there going to be further training for officers in the future as we move into this way of doing things that is not constantly putting handcuffs on an addict when they don't need to be?
There's quite a few additional services being provided, training, mental health awareness, de-escalation. There's training that's available now. Most of it's required now, but yet it requires us to stand back and look at the bigger picture of how can we resolve this issue without just immediately elevating into an arrest per se. If it's needed, yes, we'll do it. Sometimes that's the route we go with accountability, which is required as far as just recovery of acknowledging where I'm at, what I need to do to be better. Sometimes that accountability is being arrested, but yet otherwise, that's the difficulty we live in this profession, where from one second to the next, you're thinking about how can I help this person? But the next mindset and second, you're thinking this person could choose to be violent toward me, and how do I respond and be ready for that? So it is a very fine line, but that's the importance of training and understanding and repetitive action and review of how you perform. And it's out there on a daily basis.
Yeah. And when my compassion emotion is up, I'm not quite on my toes as I would be if I was in a scenario that could turn violent. Once again, just kind of speaking to the different mindsets the officers are going to have to be in on a daily basis. It's just, working as a social worker one moment and then, tackling someone to the ground the second. It's not an easy job at all. And making the first contact out there and with people that are struggling, it's just all really important things for us to be talking about right now. So any final words with Safe Passage? How could people get in contact with them, and just any future thoughts about it?
Well, naturally, we're always open 24/7, a phone call away. We are volunteer basis, but if we can't provide that service, we'll refer them over to Taylorville or someone who can, direct them into help. But yet, we encourage everyone who's struggling. There is a way out. There's a lot of success stories. Naturally, the program is there's people who don't make it through, and accountability is, institution, but we'll get there. But it's available. Great program. We're available. We will make it happen. If your desire is to make yourself better, we're going to be there with you.
I love it. And just getting this started, the step in the right direction. Chief, have you ever attended one of the drug court commencement ceremonies?
I have. I've been involved with it for a long
Wow.
time. So there's been several I've been over there and see, and it's exciting to see the newness, but yet it's a never ending, accountability, challenge for each of us, in life to just have good friends, good support groups, good, peers, it never stops. So
Yeah.
once you graduated, it's never going to stop. And it's important to stay connected with the right people to continue the success story.
All those things are so present at those drug court commencement ceremonies there, with all the friends, all the families, the big changes, like you mentioned right there. I love when they show the before and after pictures. These people are just reborn, it seems. But like you said, the journey really starts after that ceremony right there. And a lot of really cool takeaways just going to those ceremonies, and it's all really cool. And once again, really happy Safe Passage has made its way into Pana. This is Pana Police Chief Daniel Bland on the line right now. Before we take our little break here, Chief, school year starting up here in just a little bit. Anything on the mind of Pana Police Department with the upcoming school year?
Well, we just was out to the new school building doing safety assessments of building layout, structure, meeting with staff, got planning in place for training staff on response to certain situations, new traffic, conditions out around the new school area. So we're dealing with that, but we're we're anticipating a safe school year. We're also we're having zero tolerance with bad choices, ignorant choices. We're going to hold people accountable. That is the top priority of our department during school time, is the safety of our kids. And so we're going to do what's necessary to keep them safe.
Wow. I didn't quite think about with the new Pana Elementary School, combining two elementary schools right there. Yes, Pana Police definitely going to have their hand in some of those operations. What are some of the things you do to prepare for a new school in a new school year?
Well, it's obviously, for one, you got to be familiar with the layout of the building.
Yeah.
If you do respond to an active situation, immediate threat of violence or something, you got to know where you're going, entries, how to get into the school, because they're secured until you get in. As far as just where there's threats within the building, as far as infrastructure and hazardous materials, how doors are locked, how the layout of where there's glass windows, how the communication system's laid out for staff, 2 first responders, 2 other faculty members, vast array of responsibilities that we have to know about prior to entering that school to go in and deal with an issue. So those are things we're doing right now to ready ourselves so we can be prepared to protect our kids.
A whole lot involved with all those operations. Glad you guys are getting them done right now. And yeah, we're looking forward to that upcoming school year and the incoming new Pana Elementary School. It's all really great things there. We're speaking with Pana Police Chief Daniel Bland on this WTIM Pana morning show. We are set to take a little break right now. We'll be right back with them right here on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Save a lot when you shop the Dot at your locally owned Pana Save a Lot. Tim and Eric here with this week's deals.
USDA inspected T-bone steaks, $4.99 a pound.
Bone-in assorted pork loin chops, $1.99 a pound.
Assorted 130-count Totino's pizza rolls, $9.99 a bag.
Assorted Pepsi 12-packs, 2 for $12.
Whole seedless watermelons, $3.99 each.
Assorted Gatorade 12-packs, only 2 for $14.
And assorted 1-pound Oscar Mayer bolognas, 2 for $5.
Hurry in, these prices are good through Tuesday, August 6th at your locally owned Pana Save a Lot.
Hope to see you soon.
Dinner time just got easier with Pizza Mana Pana. Enjoy great food that includes amazing pizza, tasty pasta, salad bar, and chili. On Monday nights, enjoy the spaghetti special with garlic bread and a side salad for $8. On Tuesday nights, come in for the lasagna special with garlic bread and a side salad for $9. On Wednesday nights, grab yourself an individual pizza and side salad for $9. Pizza Mana Pana is proud to be serving Pana and the surrounding areas with great Italian food since 1985.
Hi, I'm Rob Sharkey. I'm a 5th-generation farmer from just outside of Bradford, Illinois. And whether I'm traveling the country asking people what they know about agriculture, or I'm right here in my very own soybean field, I don't have the time, and I sure don't have the patience to figure out the politics, to figure out new markets, to wade through the new regulations. That's why I'm more than happy to be a member of the Illinois soybean growers. They got my back, so I can grow these.
Become an ISG member at ilsoy.org/membership.
The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation aims to foster, promote, and stimulate economic development, from keeping existing industry and retail businesses successful and thriving to attracting new investment in Shelby County. The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation is here to help your business grow. It also sponsors job fairs to fill positions at existing employers and encourages future entrepreneurs in the Shelby County CEO program. Find out more on the Shelby County Economic Development Corporation by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Taylorville Estates Assisted Living is where they encourage independence and enrich lives. Have your own apartment and enjoy 3 home-cooked meals a day. Socialize with friends and ride the bus to many local activities. Residents are treated like family at Taylorville Estates Assisted Living. Find out vacancies and get on the waiting list by contacting Administrator Tony Clark. You can stop by or call 824-2222. That's 824-2222. Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, encouraging independence, enriching lives.
Sign up for People's Bank and Trust Save by Spending Roundup program, and they'll round up your purchases to the next dollar, then transfer that change to your savings account. It's as easy as shop, enjoy, and save. Get details by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Robinson from Advanced Title. Whether selling your home on your own or through your local realtor, please give us a call at 824-8007 for all your title work needs.
Your information station, WTIM.
We are back here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show. I'm your host, Tim Zalabak, and thanks so much to our title sponsor, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Your Pana Save-A-Lot, Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded Limited. When speaking with Pana Police Chief Daniel Bland on the phone line that first half, we talked to Safe Passage, the program for people addicted to drugs, getting help in on just so many facets there. Of course, getting help in the form of rehab and then employment and getting kids back. So many good things involved with Safe Passage. Talked a little bit about school safety with this upcoming school year. Now, on a lighter note here, the Pana Popcorn Festival went off, and from a policing perspective, how did it go in your eyes there, Chief?
It was a phenomenal day, a phenomenal event. We went without an incident all day long, starting from 6:30 in the morning through after 10 o'clock at night. It was a great day for Pana.
Wow, to hear not even an accidental incident right there with all of the things involved. There were so many different activities going on. That is awesome. I mean, I heard there was like you were struggling finding parking spaces out there. The exact things you want to hear. Anything to note for years to come at the Pana Popcorn Festival?
Well, we look forward to having the event. I'm sure every year brought in a lot of good people, friendly faces. I mean, families, kids. It was an exciting time. I do want to give a shout out to the Park Revitalization Committee and those who worked tremendously on the efforts put forth, organizing and planning. They did a tremendous job. But overall, without even having a small fender bender, we went without incident. It was an incredible day. Parking went well. Events were safe. Food was great. It was an exciting day.
My goodness, everyone even keeping their composure, getting into the lots, not even a fender bender. Great words to hear about Pana Popcorn Festival. That is really, really great. Pana Police Chief on the phone line right now, Daniel Bland. So, Chief Bland, we haven't been able to talk about it on air, but I call it recent, but it was just a few weeks ago, Sangamon County, Sonia Massey shooting. Now, we haven't gotten a chance to speak with a police chief perspective here. Break it down in your mind, just generally. What are the first thoughts coming out of this?
Well, I mean, I'm speaking, generally just from knowing what's been released through the press. I had no part of the investigation or what, it's still ongoing, and I do respect the judicial process as well. But just from my point of view and what I've seen that's put out publicly, very frustrating to see, totally preventable as far as just, how things should be handled. That's part of the reason and the importance of understanding the training, de-escalation tactics, mental health conditions. It was a tragic, preventable incident that should never have happened the way it did. I've always said, and early on, just looking at some of the information released, how an officer approaches, how they deal with individuals. It's hard. I've lived that position for 27 years. And I know the frustrations and the repetitive calls and it is a form of, the state in the fog of war in a sense of you're just call to call, overwhelmed. You don't know what's going on the previous shift half the time. You come in, you're stacked on calls, you're next to next. It just happens so fast, but yet you have to maintain a balance of understanding, worrying about your safety of your fellow officers as far as protecting and serving others. I mean, we're defined as peacemakers. Mm-hmm. And when you look at that situation, how can you define ourselves as being peacemakers when that situation escalated like it did so quickly, when there's so many actions could have been taken to de-escalate, prevent that from happening. Totally disappointing, uncalled for, and it's still ongoing, a lot going on, but I was not happy when I saw, because that affects our profession, affects the communities, it affects things in such a negative way that we've worked so hard for people to understand that we're better than that. We don't operate that way, and I won't tolerate that type of behavior, and society won't either. And that's the importance of the change that we're making, learning how to be more patient, but yet ready to deal with violent encounters, but yet more understanding, but yet that's the balance that we talked about earlier. It's very hard, but that situation totally preventable, and I'm sure accountability is going to come to that situation internally and through the judicial process.
Absolutely. And Chief, I do thank you for working in your thoughts there. And you call it preventable while explaining the thoughts and the process of an officer working their shift right there and giving us that perspective. It's really important. Of course, that video, very hard to watch. And we've all seen it there. But again, thank you for your perspective on it and ongoing investigation and all. But we really wanted to hear your words on that. Chief, we are totally out of time here. But any final words for our listeners to send you off?
Well, I just encourage everyone, as always, to care about their neighbor. Put a little effort into being a little more patient in life. Seems like society is just on edge with everything going on, but yet, be kind one to another. I know that's a simple concept, but it does make a difference in traffic and neighbors and just life in general. Be good to people, and we're out there to protect and serve. We're going to do what's necessary. So we hope everybody has a safe rest of the week.
Love the words. And as always, thank you so much for coming in with us, Chief Bland.
You bet. You take care. Have a good day.
You as well. Pana Police Chief Daniel Bland on the phone line in our WTIM Pana Morning Show. Thanks for listening in.
Governor Josh Shapiro and U.S. Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona in becoming the vice presidential